Welcome back to Unpacking Hinduism. We're officially beginning Module 2, Hinduism Through Time, where we explore how Hinduism evolved from ancient civilizations to the practices we still follow today. And in this first episode, we're going way back to one of the oldest urban civilizations in the world, the Indus Valley Civilization. You may have heard of it in school. But what most people don't realize is that this civilization, which thrived over 4,000 years ago, may hold the earliest visible clues to Hinduism's roots, even before the Vedas were composed. Let's unpack it. What was the Indus Valley Civilization? The Indus Valley, or Harappan, civilization existed from around 3,300 BCE to 1,300 BCE. Its major cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, were located in present-day Pakistan and northwest India. These were highly advanced societies for their time. They had grid-like city planning, sophisticated drainage systems, standardized weights and measurements, organized storage and trade networks. But here's where it gets interesting. Unlike other early civilizations like Egypt or Mesopotamia, the Indus people left no grand palaces, no temples, and no obvious signs of a ruling class or kings. Instead, they seem to live in a highly egalitarian and organized society with cultural values centered around order, nature, and community life. Spiritual clues in the archaeology. So what does this have to do with Hinduism? A lot, actually. While there are no written scriptures from this time, archaeologists have discovered artifacts and symbols that suggest early spiritual practices, some of which look strikingly similar to what we see in later Hindu traditions. Here are a few key examples. 1. The proto-Shiva seal. One of the most famous artifacts is called the Pashupati seal. It depicts a figure sitting in a yogic posture surrounded by animals, possibly tigers, elephants, and deer. He wears a horned headdress and is seated cross-legged in what looks like Mulabandhasana, a meditative pose. Some scholars believe this figure may be an early form of Shiva as Pashupati, Lord of Animals. Of course, this is still debated, but the imagery is hard to ignore, especially considering Shiva's later association with yoga, wilderness, and meditation. 2. Fire altars. Excavations at sites like Kalibangan have revealed fire altars, carefully constructed brick platforms that may have been used for ritual offerings or fire worship, much like the yajnas we see in Vedic and Hindu rituals. This suggests that even before the Vedas, there was a tradition of sacrifice and ritual fire, possibly as a way to connect with cosmic forces. 3. Mother Goddess figurines. Hundreds of terracotta figurines have been found across the Indus region, many of them depicting female figures with wide hips and elaborate headdresses. These may represent a mother goddess linked to fertility, nature, and feminine power, an idea that continues in later Hindu worship of Devi, Durga, and Shakti. 4. Sacred symbols. The swastika, a sacred symbol in Hinduism symbolizing auspiciousness and cosmic order, appears frequently on Indus seals and pottery. Other recurring motifs include the lotus, bulls, and the peepal tree, all of which hold deep spiritual significance in later Hindu traditions. What about the Vedas? Now here's where the timeline overlaps. The earliest parts of the Rig Veda, considered the oldest sacred text in Hinduism, were likely composed around 1500 BCE, after the peak of the Indus Valley Civilization. This has led to the long-standing Aryan migration or Aryan invasion debate, where historians have tried to determine whether the people who composed the Vedas arrived from outside India or were somehow connected to the existing Indus culture. Newer research, including genetic and archaeological evidence, suggests that the truth may lie somewhere in between. There may have been cultural mixing, where Vedic ideas merged with existing local practices, creating what would eventually become early Hinduism. So was Hinduism born in the Indus Valley? Not exactly, but it may have grown from its soil. Sanātana Dharma, the eternal way, doesn't begin with a single prophet or moment. It's the result of thousands of years of evolving practices, rituals, and philosophies. The Indus Valley Civilization shows us that many elements of Hindu culture, like meditation, ritual fire, goddess worship and sacred symbols may have already been part of daily life long before the Vedas were ever written. So if you've ever wondered how Hinduism became so layered, so symbolic, and so deeply connected to nature and the cosmos, this is a huge part of the answer. Question for you. Had you ever heard of the Indus Valley's connection to Hinduism before this video? Drop a yes or no in the comments. I want to see how many of us are piecing this together for the first time. What's next? In the next episode, we'll explore the Vedic age in depth. Who were the rishis? What exactly is the Rig Veda? And how did Vedic rituals shape what we now call Hinduism? If you're not subscribed yet, now's the time to do it. If you haven't watched Module 1, you can find it in our playlist, and stay tuned for our next episode. You don't want to miss this journey through time.